Aaron here with Ultraliminal Consulting. Are you ready to be exceptional at your work? Are you ready to be a leader? Not sure how to get there? That's okay. This is for you.
Work-life balance. And trying to create balance, people forget that balance is an ideal. It's an ideal because that your life is dynamic. It changes on a regular basis, whether it be minute to minute, hour to hour, day to day, month to month. So balance is a ideal that we look at, and then we try to make sure we stay within, we'll call it eyesight of it, or earshot, depending on the day. And the biggest things you can take into account, or you can do to try to help create balance in your life, is give yourself some semblance of structure. So that means you have to define what are the things that are important that you want to have in your life that then balance, right? So in my case, it would be I've got friends and family, I've got work, I've got play. And in those, what I'm looking to do is make sure that when I'm in whatever it is, family and friends, work or play, that I'm just in it. I'm doing that thing at that moment. I'm fully there, I'm fully present, and there's not a lot of overlap or bleed over from the other spaces. Try to keep that to a minimum. So that way I can get my full attention. And so that way it's not, it's beneficial time, it's real time, it's recharging for relationships, and it's productive for everybody. And everybody feels like, we'll say they got to win, right? Because that's the goal. The goal is to have good, fruitful relationships that are meaningful and purposeful to our lives, and that we feel fulfilled in that. And so we do that by providing that also to others by being present and being there for them and being able to do what we're supposed to do. And so in that case, you set those boundaries, you set that up, and then you have to communicate those boundaries to others. Like, you have to let people know. So like, you have to let your significant other, your kids, your coworkers, the people you play with, whatever your play is, like communicating it with them as well, where it's like, hey, like, here's what our goals are, here's what we're trying to do. Doesn't say you have to be over the top or super crazy with it, but just simply you're making sure that, if you're setting rules for the road, other people understand what those rules are, and then, it's being able to hold yourself accountable to what's happening. And so then how do you mitigate those challenges? Because that's the big thing. You're always going to have a challenge. You're always going to have things that can pop up, and you're going to have things that are going to try to bleed over and in. So you have to find out ways to mitigate that. That takes some trial and error. You can figure it out, though. But really, it's just making sure that you set good structures in place, put in good boundaries, and then trying to adhere to those. And then two, because it's, you're generally dealing with people and relationships in all these things, it's be attuned to what people are saying. Be attuned to how they're acting. If you're having some issues with, we'll say your family and friends, because you're not giving enough attention to that, well then okay, it might be time to kind of take a little bit of a break off of work or off of play, whatever that might be. Put some more focused effort over into those areas, because like that needs the attention. Or maybe it's the reverse. Maybe you're spending too much time at play, not enough time at work. And so you need to reshift some of your focus there, because you're always behind, you're always short on time, everything's not the quality or standard, like you're not leading as you should be. So it's just being mindful of how those things look and what kind of feedback you're getting from others, and then being able to adjust yourself accordingly. Because remember, like, life is dynamic. So your balance is going to have to shift and change too, depending on what's going on, or even like the season of your life. Like if you've got wife and kids and everything else, like your other two areas, in my case, would be like work and play, like those are going to have to adjust accordingly. Like they have to, or those other relationships are just going to fall apart. Like family and friends are going to evaporate. And so then when you get to a different season in your life, you're out those relationships, and you're probably going to wish that you had them. So it's just being mindful of that. Be mindful of the inputs coming in. Be mindful of how you structure your life and what you're doing, and then communicate clearly and frequently, just like you do in work. And you just do the best you can with it, and be mindful that sometimes you're going to have to change what you think or what your perception is of balance to something a little bit different. So keep those things in mind. Till next time.